Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Alexander Dunlop, and I'm here live for another weekly wisdom teaching. I teach every week on the Book of Life. This week, the card in play is the Nine of Diamonds. There are 52 cards in the deck of 52, as you may know, and there are 52 weeks in the year. So every week is represented by one of these symbolic patterns. And so each week we have an opportunity to understand and play and engage the meaning of one of these energies. And at the moment, as I shoot this video, I'm in Jaffrey, New Hampshire at my sister's house. We came here, and you might hear my children and her children playing in the background. They're all very excited to see each other. And it gives me the perfect backdrop, actually, to talk about the Nine of Diamonds. The Nine of Diamonds is the energy that's in play this week. And so, first of all, let me just say that what I share with you about the meaning of the Nine of Diamonds and how to play it this week will be true anytime you encounter the Nine of Diamonds in your life, not just for this week, but at any time in your life. In your life path or in your yearly cards, because we have cards for our life and then we have cards for our year. So what I'm teaching you about playing the Nine of Diamonds is true not just for this week, but for any point at which you encounter the Nine of Diamonds. Okay. So what I want you to notice about the Nine of Diamonds is that it's represented symbolically as a ladder. You can see the ladder shape, the two lines with the crossing joint. So it's a ladder. And whenever we encounter the Nine of Diamonds, it means we have an opportunity to climb up to the next level of what we most value in life, what matters most to us. The suit of diamonds represents what matters most, the diamonds of our life, the things that we treasure in life. And what we treasure could be money, could be our relationships, the things that we treasure in life. That's what the suit of diamonds represents. The Nine of Diamonds means, therefore, an opportunity to ascend, go up the ladder in what we value and how we evaluate our life. What's our perspective on what really matters? What really matters? Now, in order to go up to the next level, it means letting go of perspectives and perceptions that don't matter. Things that we might be attached to, certain assumptions or expectations that we have. It could be that we overvalue certain aspects of our life. We might even overvalue money. A lot of us do. We might overvalue our physical appearance. A lot of us do. We might overvalue certain things in our life. And this week, those things may fall away. And at first, it can be tragic. Whenever we experience the nine, we're experiencing a graduation point. Hello, thanks for joining in. So this week, you can expect that something is going to leave and something new is going to arise. But at first, it can seem really tragic whenever this nine energy is present. When the nine is present, it means we've reached a crossroads. That's the other way we can read this symbolism. There's a crossroads right at the center there. So we've reached a crossroads in our life. In some important way, our life is going to shift perspective this week. And again, at first it may seem tragic because we really value whatever it is that we're shifting. Now, certain experiences of the Nine of Diamonds can be like losing your car keys or misplacing your wallet, getting an unforeseen bill in the mail, an unforeseen expense. And at first, that is unpleasant to have that experience. But if that happens to you, I encourage you to shift your perspective on how you're attached to whatever it is that is slipping away from you or is misplaced, right? That's the real invitation, is to go up to the next level in how we look at what's happening to us. How can we climb up to a more enlightened perspective on whatever it is that we're experiencing in our field? Right? So something happens, creates a crossroads, creates a junction point, a decision point, and then we can either be attached to our old way of thinking, and then we may suffer. This is Buddha's famous insight of the attachment is what creates the suffering. This week, and whenever we encounter the Nine of Diamonds, we experience an opportunity to let go of our attachments. I say opportunity, but really it may show up as a crisis. It's like that modern day urban myth about the Chinese word for crisis and opportunity being the same thing. Maybe it actually is. Maybe it's not an urban myth legend. Maybe it actually is the same word. But the word crisis and the word opportunity is the same thing. How do we see it? How do we perceive it? Is it a tragedy or is it an invitation? Is it a closed door or is it an open door to another dimension? This week a door closes and then another door opens. But if you're stuck trying to open the door that closed, you may be stuck banging on a door that won't open anymore, and then you might get really sad. Now, this is a ladder, remember? It's a ladder, so you can climb up this week or you can climb down. And what happens when you climb down, it ain't pretty. This is the doom and gloom tragedy of everything is going wrong and nothing will ever get better. With the 9 energy, we can climb all the way down into a pit of self-loathing. So I encourage you to be on alert for that this week, to notice if something trips you up or triggers you, and then you climb down your personal ladder in how you perceive things, in how you evaluate things, and in your evaluation, you see that it's all terrible and tragic, and you're suffering, and it ain't going to get any better. Because whenever we climb down this ladder, we can feel like we're oppressed by the weight of the world, and nothing is going to shift, and we don't have the strength or the wherewithal to shift it. We feel crushed. So be on alert for that you might feel crushed this week. The opportunity is to unburden yourself, to realize that that which is crushing you isn't actually crushing you. It's only your perspective that is crushing you, your evaluation of it, your attachment to it. It's important this week to let go and release any attachment to anything that you value. I'll give you an example from my own life. When I came across a 9 of Diamonds in my life path, this is a few years ago, I lost my bicycle. And my bicycle, if you know, is how I get around the city. It's my favorite means of transportation. I even refer to my bike as my horse. And when I came across a 9 of Diamonds in my life path, I lost my bicycle. And I was upset about it. But I realized, something I value is leaving me, and how I perceive it can be tragic or it's an opportunity for something else. And what I did instead is I got a scooter and I started riding a scooter. And I had a lot of fun riding a scooter instead of a bicycle. And next thing I knew, a couple other parents who I knew also got scooters. And I used to scoot around with my children. But I wouldn't have known to do that or had that opportunity to do that if I hadn't switched my perspective, and instead of being attached to the loss of my bicycle and being upset about it as a tragedy, I looked at it as an open door to another possibility. And so I bought a scooter and started riding a scooter with my kids, and we had a great time, and we still tell stories about our scooter riding experiences. So something may happen to you, like you lose something really important to you, like your bicycle, or something happens to your car, or something you really value. See if you can switch the perspective to see a different possibility for yourself. See if you can elevate your perspective to a higher level and look at your life from a more, like an eagle eye kind of thing, from a higher perspective. And it's not always easy, necessarily. And it doesn't mean that you might not have feelings of loss, because of course you may. So you want to honor your feelings of loss at the same time, and also see it as a possibility of another path. Two roads diverged in the wood, right? And I took the road less traveled. You're going to have an opportunity this week to shift and go from one path to another. You're going along on one pathway, and you reach this crossroads, and then you can shift to another pathway. So that's the opportunity, is to shift to another pathway. In my life, for example, it went from riding a bicycle to riding a scooter. Seems kind of like a trivial, silly shift, but it actually was very important. And it created a lot of great memories for me with my kids by doing that. So see how you can shift into a different pathway this week when you're presented with this crossroads that at first can seem tragic. So that's the invitation for you with this Nine of Diamonds present. And it is a big one. You know, when the nines come, we've reached a graduation point in our life. It means we're ready for the next chapter. And that too can be sad, just to say goodbye to an old chapter. So a new chapter comes this week for you in your life. See what's there for you. See what's possible in the new doorway. And if you want any extra support, please leave your comments below, or please reach out to me for a private consultation. We can work through whatever is ending in your life and what may be beginning. You know, these are the transition points where we often need an extra hand, or an extra hug, or just an extra pair of eyes to help us see what we might not be seeing. So just be aware that something ends and something begins this week. And so when something ends in your life, see how that gives you an opportunity for something new. And as always, remember that life is a game. Even when it gets really challenging, life is a game. See if you can approach your life like a puzzle to be solved. See if you can approach your life like a child who's solving a puzzle, or like a child who's trying to learn to play a new game. See if you can have a beginner's mindset in how you play the game of your life. Have fun, everyone.